So for this project I am going to use the same Bao Hong block of 100% cotton paper, 3x8 flat brush by Princeton, number 8 round brush, number 0 quill mop brush, number 5 round brush. These are the brushes I'll be using, and these fine liner markers, number 8 and 5, white color, Silurian blue color, and Indian yellow color. Again, the names may vary depending on the brand of colors you are using. These are the special things we are going to use in this project. The Q-tips. We are going to use 2 different techniques in this project, and also color black or Pines Grey, whatever you have, any darker shade. So now I'm not going to tape the edges because I don't want water, but if you are using loose paper, you should tape the paper so that it doesn't curl up. This is a wet on wet technique, so I've already made the paper wet lightly, and now I'm giving a light wash of blue. And with some random strokes here and there, I am building up the clouds. As I reach the middle part, I am just pulling the color down with the help of water. And now, with a different brush, I am adding yellow, leaving some gap in the middle because I don't want yellow and blue to mix up. And similarly, I am dragging yellow down with the help of water to give a light wash. Similarly, I'll be giving some random strokes here and there with a darker value of yellow at the bottom part of the painting. Here again, I'll be painting clouds and sky on all over the paper, and I'll be adding some elements to make the painting look like a cityscape later once I'm done with the clouds. Here I'm building up the shadows in the top part of the painting with blue. I don't want to make it very dark, that's why I'm building up the colors very lightly and gradually, as you see, trying to make some fluffy clouds in the blue area. The middle part I am not coloring completely, I'm only using water to drag both the colors upwards and downwards. Here I am lifting some pigments with the help of a damp clean brush. We've done this in the practice session. So I'm just lifting some pigment here and there. And now with more darker value, I'll build the shadows around the white areas created by the pigments I've lifted. Now the painting is dried, and I'm going to use the darker color, Pines Grey. If you have black, you can use black, but use lighter value of black. Here I'm using Pines Grey to build the darker shadows on blue. See, there's no rule to follow exactly while painting clouds. You have to continuously keep observing it and working according to what you like and what you don't like. So I am smoothing the edges, lifting some pigments, building up some pigments here and there as I like and as it goes. Here I have to keep in mind that I don't get carried away and overdo the shadows, because that will completely ruin the painting. And since we have used a lot of layers, the paper may not support more lifting of colors if required. So we have to be very careful while building the shadows that we shouldn't overdo it. The bottom layer is now dried, so I'm first reactivating the layer with the clear water damp brush. In this process I have to make sure not to rub the paper so much, or else I'll end up lifting the pigment, which I don't want right now. Once the color is reactivated, I'm adding the darker shadows with the help of Payne's Grey, and once I am done, I will just leave this for drying as it is. Now here I am going to show you a special technique of creating these patterns for clouds. So before the layer has completely dried, and I have to make sure that it's not completely wet as well, I'm using this damp brush, not soaking wet brush, but a juicy brush to just tap on the surface of the paint. Here I'm not rubbing the brush at all, I'm just tapping here and there, and the water is making the color spread. This is also called cauliflower effect, and as you can see, this effect is making beautiful clouds. Now the surface has dried a bit more, and with the use of wet Q-tip I am lifting some pigments in a row. As you see, I am taking damp Q-tips and just pressing them on the surface of the cloud or sky, and in a row I am lifting pigments, forming these rounded colorless circles, which later will become the bulbs for the light string. So these are the two techniques we are using in this painting. One, cauliflower effect, and this lifting with the help of a Q-tip. As you see, I've already made 2 rows of the colorless dots. Now I'm making the 3rd row. You can make as many or as less rows you want. It's totally up to you. I wanted to make 3 rows, and here I'm done. Now I will take the tube of white color, and directly with the tube I will apply white dots on these colorless circles. If you are not using tube colors, you can also dab the Q-tip on white paint, and you can make these white dots with the help of the Q-tips. Just make sure that you have less or minimal water and more of the color. That will give a really bright effect, because watercolors, white colors are very faded, they're not very bright. Here I have put the color, and now I am making them rounder with the help of Q-tip. You can directly do this with the Q-tip only if you're not using a tube color. So here my bulbs are ready. Because there's a lot of paint, and like it's absolute paint, it's going to dry very quickly. So here I'm drawing my wire on top of the rows of the bulbs like that, and I'll quickly make this bulb holders, and the string of bulbs will be ready. I am making these elements on top of the completely dried painting, so please don't use markers or anything on a wet surface. Use them when the painting is completely dried. The strings of bulbs are ready. Now with the help of a ruler, I am going to draw the railing of a terrace so that the same frame becomes a view from the terrace. So here I am drawing the main rail, and I'll draw the bottom, and now I will draw a simple design. You can choose any design of your choice. You can even give it a crisscross net effect, diamond net effect. That's very easy and simple. I am choosing this effect over here. You can even draw some parallel lines, straight lines, and leave it like that, because railings can be in many designs and it's your painting, so it can be anything you want it to be. Alright, so here I am drawing this pattern for the railing. It's time for the flat brush and the black paint, and I'm going to fill in the design like this. As you see, I'm using thick black paint, less water and more of paint to paint these. Now I'll be making the design a little thicker, but before that let's add some elements on top of the railing. I'm adding a succulent planter. you can add anything you like. You can add a teacup or a kettle or an open book or even a cat. If you're good with doodling, just make it completely black because this is the silhouette. Now let me add the succulent. Simple and easy. Brush, I am drawing some foliage on the opposite corner. They are just some random strokes here and there to make it look like the branches of the shrub. Don't have to be specific, don't have to be proportionate, just some random strokes here and there. You can see I am holding the brush at a 90 degree so that only the tip of my brush touches the paper and I get the thinnest possible strokes. If I hold it at a lower angle, smaller angle, I'll get thick strokes. So in order to get thin strokes, I'm holding it very close to the tip and at a bigger angle, like almost perpendicular to the paper. Now I'm adding the foliage, the leaves, just some random dabs here and there with the same black paint. I keep drawing and keep moving it further, making it big as per my liking. There's no certain rule to follow. Now, or else it's going to go on and on and on. There, I'm almost done with this painting. Now I will just make the grill thicker because it feels very skinny and weak as compared to the other things in the frame. So I'll just make them little thicker and that's it, we are done. now with the help of a dry brush and some white color in it, I am giving some strokes on the either sides of the light bulbs to give it the impression of the light beam, the star filter effect that we always see when we observe light at a distance, like smaller light sources at the distance. So I am giving 2 strokes to each and every bulb with a dry brush and white color in it. And that's it. We are done with this painting. Hope you were able to paint along with me. Please share the pictures of your painting in the